Good morning, Giants family. So this morning we're going to be making flour tortillas. I'm going to do tacos tonight, and we like soft shell tacos. So why run out and buy them when we have all of the ingredients here at home to make them right here? So what I'm going to do is measure out take out this oxygen absorber. That's first. I'm going to measure out my flour. We're going to need 2 cups of flour. So I'm only going to make a little bit, so I'm only going to do 2 cups. Usually the recipe, what you would do with the normal recipe would call for 4 cups. Hold on, family. Let me get this together here. The recipe would normally call for 4 cups. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do half the recipe because I'm not going to need that many. But I will put in the description the full recipe for that you would normally make, the 4 cups of flour and whatever. Okay, so but right now we're only going to do half the recipe. So half the recipe will call for 2 cups of flour, and that's 1. Give me a second to get the other one. Okay, here's our 2nd cup of flour. Okay, family, and so now we're going to need, for a normal recipe, if you're using 4 cups of flour, you would need 1.5 teaspoons of salt. I'm only going to use 3/4 teaspoons of salt and 2 teaspoons of baking powder. So I'm just going to add my baking powder for the half of my recipe in here, okay? I think I said that backwards. It's a 1/4 cup. I did say it backwards. It's a 1/4 of a teaspoon. For this recipe, I'm using a 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt and 3/4 teaspoons of baking powder. And now we're going to need 3 tablespoons of lard, butter, or shortening, depending on which one you choose to go with. I'm using lard today, and so I'm going to need 3 teaspoons. Like so, that's 1. 2. In the regular recipe, when you're using 4 cups, you would need 6 teaspoons of your binder, which is your shortening, your lard, or your butter, okay? And that's it. I'm going to give this a quick stir. Like so. And then I'm just going to take this out because that's going to just become a mess. And I'm just going to use this dough whisk to combine it. Now this is like making a pie crust. You want this to become kind of crumbly, like almost a cornmeal consistency. Yeah, almost like a cornmeal kind of consistency, okay? And so that's going to be a little crumbly looking little shaggy dough, but that's when you get that, you'll know that you have gotten what you needed, okay? And so we're just going to continue to work this to get all of our dough combined with our lard, and keep going. That's it. And so like I said, you want it to be kind of crumbly, like you don't want it that floury consistency. So we're not quite there. We're going to kind of keep going to combine and get all of our lard mixed in here. And then after that, in the normal recipe, if you're using 4 cups, you would use 2 cups of hot water. But because I cut this recipe in half, I'm going to need 1 cup of hot water. Okay, and this is a Danish dough whisk that I'm using, a different kind. So I have this all wooden one, and then I have they're the same. I just grabbed the wooden one first today, okay? But just to show you options that you can use to make your process a little easier. Family, don't do like I do. I store my flour with bay leaves, and when I pour them out of the main container, if the bay leaves get caught in the transfer, I leave them, and then when I go to bake, I have to fish out the bay leaves. So don't do like me. Take them out when you're transferring your product over. It makes it easier for you, because every time I get ready to bake something, I have to fish out all of my bay leaves. Okay, but they work for me, so I'm not angry about it. It just slows me down sometimes. Alrighty, so anyway, this is the consistency you want. You can see that it has changed. It almost looks like it's grits in my bowl, okay? Look like a little lumpy dough, but that's a little shaggy, lumpy, gritty dough. That's what you want. And now we're gonna just make a small well here in the middle, like so. And we're gonna add in the hot water. Now the water should be hot, family, but let it be hot enough that when you that you can use your hands to work it, all right? That it's not too hot that you can't touch it. And this is definitely gonna be way too hot where I can't touch. So I'm gonna add a little bit of cold water to bring that temp down some. Another piece of bacon. I do. Okay. Got it. All right. So see, it becomes a little bit of a pain, but yeah. And then you're just gonna pour your hot water right in. All right. Okay, and combine. And this is our basic tortilla dough for flour tortillas, okay? And it becomes sticky right away. But you want to try and not add any more flour if you can, okay? Try really hard not to add any more flour. Just get this very well mixed together. Look like I'm gonna have to put a little bit more a little bit more flour into mine. Yeah, I'm gonna add just a tad bit more, family. I know I said try not to, but yeah. As you can see, I have very little in here. I'm just gonna do a small sprinkle like so. I'm not adding a lot. That was less than a half a teaspoon, a tablespoon, or half a teaspoon rather, I'm sorry. All right, so I'm gonna put a little bit of flour on my hands because I'm gonna have to pour this out and knead it. Okay, this dough is a very soft dough, okay? And so it's not gonna be, let me move you guys back a tad bit so that you can see my surface. Okay. Pour that right out of there like so. I'm going to go ahead and scrape down the sides of this to get everything out. You know I don't want to leave anything behind. And leave that sitting there because you're going to need that bowl one more time, okay? Alrighty. And that's it, family. We're just going to knead this to let it build up a little bit of gluten. And then we'll be ready to let this rest for about an hour. And I'm not, you can see I'm not doing a rough knead on this because the dough is just that soft. I'm just kind of patting and rolling. Adding a little flour as I go to form my dough. Okay. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to keep doing this, okay? So I'm going to do this for 5 to 10 minutes. I'm not going to leave the camera rolling. I don't want to bore you with what I'm doing because this is all I'm going to do here. It's just get my dough well combined, build up my gluten, and yeah, for my dough. So I'll be right back, family. Okay, family, so now that I have kneaded my dough and I got this nice little dough ball, I'm going to go back in and with a little bit of my lard, just a tad bit of it. It's not even enough to measure. You just need to give it a quick little oily massage like so. Okay, just like so. No measurements for this, just enough to kind of cover your dough. You're going to bring your bowl back, put it in the bottom of your bowl, like so. And then you're going to cover this with saran wrap and allow this to rest for about an hour. Okay? And after that hour, I'll be back, family. So, just going to... Now, normally when we're making bread, you know I will put the saran wrap over the top of the bread. This time, you only want to cover your actual dough, okay? And so we'll be back in an hour. Okay, family, so our dough has rested. It's been resting for an hour. So we're just gonna go ahead and take our saran wrap off. And this is what we're left with our dough. And here, all you wanna do is take this thin and pinch off the size tortilla that you wanna make. This is still really sticky. I think I'm gonna need to, I don't know, we'll see. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and just try and roll this into a ball, like so. This is damp, and I have my saran wrap down, so I'm just gonna lay my ball down. Okay, so we're just gonna keep pinching off and rolling into balls, covering it under our damp towel on parchment paper. Like so. Covering it up. And I'm gonna get all of these done, family, and then once I get them all pinched, rolled, and under the parchment paper, then I'll come back and we'll move to the next phase, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and roll this one. And then I'm gonna shut the camera off, and once I'm done with all of this, I'll come back and show you what it all looks like. Okay. I'll be back. Okay, family, I just washed my hands after rolling my balls out. That didn't sound quite right, but you understand what I'm saying. After rolling out all of my dough balls, okay? And here they are resting under a damp towel on parchment paper. And these are gonna be our tortillas. Okay, so now I'm gonna get my glass surface ready to roll out my tortillas. So I'm gonna use, I think I better use the regular rolling pin today. Use a rolling pin. Bring back our flour and get ready to roll these out, okay? All right, so I'm going to put a little bit of flour on my surface here, as well as my rolling pin, like so. Now we're going to bring out ball number 1, and I'm going to get a little flour on both sides of it, like so, family. And we want to just roll these out. To me, I'm not trying to get a perfect circle, but I'm just rolling them out to be able to see through them. You want to be able to see a little bit through your dough. That will tell you have stretched it for as far as it could go, okay? So you want to keep occasionally pick it up, turn it over, pick up more flour, that kind of thing, all right? And so that's it. You just keep rolling, turning, you If you want, you can even flip it over, turn it, roll it. Again, I'm not into trying to keep these perfect little round shapes. I just want the tortilla, okay? But if that's your thing, to be perfect and have the beautiful round shape, then you do you, okay? Like so. And I'm going to need another towel to place these under once they're done. So I should have had this ready. I didn't, you know, I don't never be really ready, family. I need to get more parchment paper. 1 second. So you're going to put your parchment paper down here, and then it does the same process as before. You're going to cover them up once they're done, okay? And so I'm not able to quite see through my dough well enough, so I'm just going to continue to kind of roll it out. And this one's ugly, I know, but that's pretty much how you want it. You want it really thin so you can see through it, okay? So then you're going to lay it out like so under your paper here, like that. And then we're going to keep going to the next one. Let me get a little bit more flour. I don't want these sticking, because this is a soft dough. I don't want this sticking to my cutting board, okay? Cover these back up. And roll this out. So while I'm doing this, I'll get a few of them rolled out ahead of time, family. But I'm going to go ahead and get my griddle hot, because then we're going to go over and brown our tortillas on the griddle. Okay, so you kind of get the idea of where I'm going with this and what you have to do. So okay, so keep going, family, with all of your balls until you get them completely rolled out. Or you could do like I do a few at a time and get them cooking on your griddle, and then you can go ahead and continue to finish your process. Do a few, get them brown, and go on to the next one. So that's where I am. I'm going to stop with this one, go and get my griddle hot, and then I'll be back. Okay, family, this is my cast iron griddle. I just like to spritz a little bit of oil on mine to season my pan before I put my tortillas on here. Sorry, I'm getting a little thirsty. So I'm going to let that get hot, and then I'm going to go ahead and bring over the first tortilla and put it on so that we can get started on frying our tortillas. So I roll a few at a time, like I said before, and after I get them on the fire, then I roll a few more and kind of keep like a little assembly line going. I don't want to roll all of them out at the same time and have them just kind of sitting and waiting. I just kind of have a little system I try to follow. So while you're watching my griddle get a little warm and burn off some of that oil, because we're not trying to fry the tortillas, we just want to brown them, okay? So I just wanted to season that because it has been a while since I've used it. And so I just wanted to put a little oil on it to season it and get ready, okay? Now I don't know if I mentioned the second time that I have laid my tortillas under the rolled ones, that towel wasn't moist. Only the first towel should be a little bit moist to keep your dough from drying out, okay? But the second time, it's perfectly fine for that to be a dry towel, okay? So I'm paying attention to what I'm doing. I'm looking at my griddle while you guys are watching it, while I'm rolling out my other tortillas. But I am keeping an eye on my griddle, and so now I'm going to come over with the first tortilla that we're gonna grill up. Okay? And we're just gonna put her down like so. Try and straighten it out a little bit. There we go. And we're just gonna let that blister up on that side. And then we're gonna go ahead and add the second one. Once this, you see the blistering, it'll start blistering up. When that happens, then you move on to the next one. Flip it over and go on and let it blister on the second side and kind of keep going from there, family, okay? Alrighty. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this one like so. I'm going to let that one blister a little bit more before I flip that one. And you may need to do a couple of flips on them to get them to come perfectly like brownish color you're looking for. I just flip back and forth like this because I don't want them to burn. And so your attention is sort of divided. You are running back and forth and between sides, but you know, that's how it is. You multitask, all right? But like I always say, it's best to go ahead and practice these skills now. That way when you need them, they are readily available for you. Okay? So this won't be something you learn on the cusp of when you actually need this, okay? Like so. And then here's towel number 3 making its grand entrance. Okay, I'm gonna call this one done. So, and this is why you want your towels. So your towels play a very important part in this process. It keeps things moist. It keeps them warm. There we go. Okay. And this is number 2. So just keep going with that process, family, and then you have your homemade tortillas. Alrighty, there we go. Yeah, I know they're messy looking. Like I said, I'm not reaching for perfectly round perfection. I just want to flour tortillas, okay? So I'm not trying to be perfect, okay? I'm just trying to feed my family. I know exactly what's in my tortillas. Why? Because I made them. I know the ingredients that went into them and the amount of ingredients that went into them. And so I'm happy with just knowing that, okay? And they were made from my heart. Therefore, I went in, love went into them. And the nourishment that my family will receive from this is going to be a portion of my heart given to them. Yes, I'm still rolling. While those are frying up, I am still rolling. Come and give these a flip. Oh, gotta let that one stay a little too long. Turn my fires down. Maybe it's go too high. Okay, family, so take that one off, put it under, and this one. Flip this one and see how it's doing. I'm gonna put it back on that side. Alrighty. So I have one more after this, and then we're gonna just keep going. But make sure they stay covered so they can stay nice and warm. Okay, family, and this is the last one. Our last tortilla of the day has made its debut as this one is ready to come off. Okay. So I'm going to turn that back burner there off because we're done with that. So the fry process, once your griddle is hot, you're ready to, it goes pretty quickly. So you can do this with you can also make these perfectly round if you get a tortilla press. I wouldn't use it for, spend money on a tortilla press, and I can just use my roller. Or you can, pretty much that's it. But anyway, I like these like this because, they're more rustic, they're more authentic looking, and I'm not trying to be a restaurant and do perfectly round whatever. I simply want the tortillas for our tacos tonight. Let me fluff up my rice here a little bit. Time to make sure that it's good and done. And these are very soft tortillas. Let me show you. They're very, very soft. and you can get a good roll on them. And so these are very hot. You can see that they're very, I touched that thing. They're very hot, but they're very good. They're very flexible tortillas, so you can get a good roll. And I'm just gonna store them in my silicone mylar bags, silicone reusable bags. I don't know why I call those mylar, but reusable bags, until we're ready to use them. And you do eat these the same way. You can add a little bit of butter to them. It's hot. Add a little bit of butter onto them, and you're gonna give a good roll. I'm gonna dry this paper because I'm gonna put it in here. You want to put a little butter on them, put it on a little skillet to let them soften up a little bit. I am making these in advance for tonight, so they're going to cool down by then. But if you want to warm them, you just put a little butter on them, put them back on the griddle in a cast iron skillet, flip them from side to side to get them warm, and then proceed as normal to make whatever you're going to make, your burritos, your tacos, whatever, okay? And so this paper is pretty dry, so I'm good with that. But this was a short video, family, that I come to you today with. Is our flour tortillas, homemade flour tortillas. As you can see, they're very soft. And I'm going to pinch this corner here off so I can give a good taste for you guys. And yes, real flour tortillas, and they're very good. Like I say, you know what went into these because you handmade them yourself with love for your family. Family, go ahead and give these recipes a try and perfect your skills now while you have time to practice them. The Father has given us time. Please get on that. Shalom, family.